Hello, my name is Mr. Ward, and I am your son or daughter's pre-calculus teacher. Welcome. Tonight's presentation is a quick overview of what we'll do in class this year, how we'll do it, some things that are good and back to normal from old school, previous to COVID, and some new elements that we learned through the hybrid learning model. I'm married, and I have 2 children. Little introduction to myself. They just turned 33 and 29 this past week. Lindsay lives in Virginia, works for the CDC in Washington, D.C., and Eric is a second-year medical resident in the U.S. Air Force down in San Antonio, Texas. My wife and I have lived in Canandaigua for the last 22 years. I've taught math this is my 33rd year of teaching. I've spent the first 9 years of my career in New Hampshire, teaching computer science, pre-calculus, algebra, geometry, algebra 2. I've taught pretty much everything. I also coach. I've been the cross-country coach here for 22 years, and I also coach indoor track and outdoor spring track. I'm a runner myself, done a few marathons, a couple ultras, and that's our dog Penny, who is a pit bull rescue. The course itself, pre-calculus, it's also a Gemini course, meaning kids could earn credit from FLCC as MAT 152. It's a foundational course designed for juniors who are accelerated and have been successful in A2, or seniors who are on pace. Idea being, the next year after this, whether it be here at the high school or in college, they would be prepared to take calculus. Since it's a Gemini course, the kids will register with FLCC, but we won't do that until the spring of 2022. It'll be considered a spring semester course. We'll do it sometime in January, and more information will follow. This is how we grade. Homework assigned daily. It counts 5% of a kid's report card grade, and it's graded simply on completeness. And kids don't have to do every assignment, every problem. 50+% of the assignments will give the kids full credit. Next component is a work session. That'll be done a couple times a unit with partners' open notes. It's kind of like an open notes quiz. Quizzes, on the other hand, will be done by themselves in closed notes. Work packets, those are like comprehensive take-home exams. They usually encompass a few units, and they will be given with a deadline of about 10 days to 2 weeks. And kids can get extra help on those. Should be something that they can take advantage of to help their grade. Projects we'll talk more about in a second. And then tests, obviously, are the biggest part of their grade. Tests will always be calculator active and calculator inactive. We want the kids to be good with the technology, but we also want them to understand the math concepts. Report card grade is based on each quarter, 20%, midterm 10%, final exam 10%. Midterm will just be covering the first half of the year's material. Final exam will just be covering the second half of the year's material. And that final will also have a component of the test made by the college. Projects, as I said a minute ago, they are bringing math to life. When am I ever going to use this? This hopefully will answer the questions a little bit. Here's an example of being an air traffic controller, and their job is to use what are called vectors to get the airplane from SeaTac Airport in Washington to Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta, Georgia. Another project we do, I think very interesting, is on IRAs. Kids get to learn what an IRA is, an individual retirement account, how to plan for retirement, how to pay themselves first, and what we use are exponential functions and compound interest. Here's the 13 units of study that we go into in pre-calc. The last 2 units, 12 and 13, are actually calculus topics, limits, and intro to derivatives. Something that's available to students that came out of COVID is the idea of using our learning management system called Schoology to make things available to kids to help them be more successful. In Schoology, kids will see on their pre-calc page, I will post for every unit the following items. the calendar that they get, so they know exactly what's going on for the next couple of weeks of their math life. The assignment sheet is going to be posted in there in case they don't have a paper copy or they might have misplaced theirs. The homework answer keys, so kids can do homework, and again, since it's just based on effort, they can check for completeness, for accuracy, how well they're doing. Each lesson will be posted onto Schoology, so kids can, if they miss a day, watch the video lesson. If they were in class but just didn't understand it, they can watch it again. Half of them are done by me, half are done by Mr. Ducharme, so it might be hearing a different voice might help them be successful on that topic. And there's also a filled-in notes folder, which if a student just wants to spend class time engaged in the lesson, answering questions, paying attention, he or she can then come home at night and get the filled-in notes or have them done in advance. Again, something that came out of the hybrid learning model that I think will benefit kids tremendously now that we're back to normal school. Extra credits available every day. Math clinic's open, and one of our teachers is there every period. I'm there specifically first period. I'm also available most days in my room after school, room 129, except Tuesdays, which are cross-country meet days. In Schoology, as I just said, I will always post filled-in notes, homework answer keys, and pre-made videos for every lesson. I think that'd be very beneficial to students. I hope this gives a good synopsis of what the course is. If you or your child has any questions, please don't hesitate to call or to use email. I prefer email. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can and help out in any way I can. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and I hope your child has a great school year, not just in pre-calc, but everything. Thank you.